Welcome to the This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 70 for the first half of June 2016. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these twice-a-month astrology forecasts. What's new for the first half of June? You can take your focus, purity, and sacred sexuality to the next level under a grand cross featuring Vesta, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Another potent grand cross featuring 5 planets peaks during the first half of June, empowering law of attraction, embodied awakening, and more. You'll also learn about a Gemini New Moon that kicks these grand crosses up another level, how to work with Neptune turning retrograde, and more. What's old as we come into this forecast period? Waning moon. We've got a grand trine running through June 6th with Mercury, Jupiter, and Pluto. That grand cross I mentioned is in effect now. We've got the fundamental T-square at the core of the grand crosses still running through July 1st with Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Mars is still retrograde through June 29th, and we've got Saturn and Pluto also retrograde. So let's now move on to our individual days of this forecast. A powerful grand cross is already in effect that includes the slower planets Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Its fourth corner is held down by the Sun in Vesta, and I interpreted it on the prior video forecast. Today, on June 1st, Vesta joins Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune to form a grand cross that lasts more than twice as long. It begins today, peaks on June 16th, and ends on June 24th. This summary of that Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune T-square at its core I gave you back on May 27th. What I said was, in a nutshell, the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune T-square can empower law of attraction manifestation and spiritual embodiment, as well as structural disintegration and inspired reconstruction. I'll talk about that more in my May 9th forecast on my blog at astroshaman.com. You can go there if you want an in-depth understanding of how you can use this T-square's energies to improve your life. You know, I've recently had the feeling that I was not giving Vesta her full due in my forecasts, so I studied up before talking about her here. I hope you benefit from my new, deeper understanding of Vesta in this and future forecasts. I'm particularly indebted to Jessica Murray's insightful article, Hidden Faces of the Asteroid Goddesses. There's a link to that on my blog with the June 1 to 15 forecast on astroshaman.com. Murray's article also offers fascinating insights into both the patriarchal and pre-patriarchal meanings of Vesta and the other 3 asteroid goddesses. Now, I continue to stand by what I've been saying about Vesta until now, that she represents devotion to a higher cause, but this is only the external expression of some of Vesta's deeper meanings: focus, self-purification, self-discipline. Vesta is associated with the sacred flame. Its spiritual heat can burn away the psychic sludge that muddies your awareness of your soul purpose and your inherent divinity. Vesta can help you do the inner work necessary to attain your deepest possible functional awakening. This obviously goes right along with my spiritual embodiment interpretation of the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune T-square. You can also use the T-square's enhanced law of attraction power to cultivate these Vestan attributes more fully. This T-square can also help you dissolve away the heavy energies running interference with this process. Now, for quite a while, I associated Vesta with sacred sex. Then I learned that the Vestal virgins of ancient Rome were sworn to celibacy and were buried alive if they broke their vow of chastity. I then removed sacred sex from my Vesta interpretations. Now, thanks to Jessica Murray's article, I have a larger perspective. She points out that in pre-Hellenic Greece, the priestesses of the moon goddess practiced sexual rites. They initiated temple pilgrims into the mysteries that way. I'm now quoting excerpts from her article, by the way. Virgins not in the sense of being literally chaste, but in the sense that they belong to no one partner. Groups of Vestals and their consorts coupled in the darkness of a sacred cave without knowing who was partnering whom. As soon as patrilineality came about, these practices became highly disadvantageous to the ruling castes, since knowledge of paternity was essential to the passing on of land and title. The Romans instituted a literal chastity into the Vestal rites, which was enforced under penalty of death by live burial. The inner archaic face of Vesta is that of a spirituality that sees sex as a means to channel the power of the divine feminine, a sexuality that is not used to get a mate, or to get children, or to achieve personal pleasure, but to practice a religious devotion. That's the end of the quotes from her article. So, reading all this convinced me to return sacred sexuality to my interpretation of Vesta in the context Murray describes. Bringing in the rest of the Grand Cross reinforces the use of sacred sex to deepen your divine embodiment. Law of attraction can be used to amplify this aspect of your life, and the dissolution of structure can be used to help clear any symptoms of a dysfunctional Vesta, which can include fear of commitment, sex, and intimacy. And in the no coincidences department, as I did my Vesta research and wrote about her back on May 24th, Vesta was part of a transiting T-square. She was conjunct the Sun and Venus, opposing Mars, and square Pallas Athena. Also, on Wednesday, June 1st, on its own, a Sun-Neptune square, Sun 12 Gemini, Neptune 12 Pisces, can tempt certain people into substance abuse, excessive escapism, victimhood, or aimless drifting. Harnessed on the high side, it can encourage spiritual union practices and inspired creativity. With the Sun in Gemini, there can be mental confusion, or thinking and expression can increasingly channel the constant flow of divine wisdom. This Sun-Neptune square is also a member of the Grand Cross with Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune that's in effect through June 8th. No major astrology events on June 2nd, Thursday, but on Friday, June 3rd, a powerful Grand Cross started in late May, peaks today on June 3rd, and ends on June 8th. It adds the Sun and Venus to the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune T-square. Again, I'm repeating much of what I wrote in my May 27th Grand Cross forecast here. On one level, the Sun and Venus simply act as triggers to juice up the power of the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune T-square. In a nutshell, as I said already, the Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune T-square can empower law of attraction manifestation and spiritual embodiment, as well as structural disintegration and inspired reconstruction. And again, in my May 9th forecast on astroshaman.com, I go deep into all this if you want to learn more. In addition to its role as a trigger, the Sun makes it easier to personally embody the T-square's energies. Its placement in the mutable, variety-loving sign of Gemini can inspire you to use law of attraction in many different areas. You might also feel like experimenting with a variety of approaches to deepen your spiritual embodiment. Venus makes it easier to use law of attraction to help you manifest optimal relationships, finances, and creativity. She can also help you forge a deeper relationship with your higher aspects. Also, on Friday, June 3rd, 3 aspects are exact today. Since they're all part of this Grand Cross I've just been talking about, I've already covered their integrated meanings, but I'll also mention a thing or two about their standalone meanings. We'll start with Venus square Neptune, Venus 12 Gemini, Neptune 12 Pisces. Inspired eclectic creativity, the urge for conscious connection with your higher self, coming into relationship with the divine in many physical manifestations. Sun opposite Saturn, Sun 13 Gemini, Saturn 13 Sagittarius, being able to overcome a variety of obstacles in a variety of ways, or maybe just 1-2 obstacles in a variety of ways, learning to stand firm in your beliefs, enhanced maturity and productivity. And Venus opposite Saturn, Venus 13 Gemini, Saturn 13 Sagittarius, thinking clearly about how to deal with relationship challenges, efficiently organizing your social life, seriously considering your financial priorities. On Saturday, June 4th, June's new moon lines up at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The moon and sun will be in Gemini at 14 degrees 53 minutes. Any Gemini new moon is great for new beginnings in learning, communication, and managing your relationships with neighbors, siblings, and relatives. The most important thing about this new moon in terms of its aspects, and really the most important thing overall, is that it aligns with the current Grand Crosses, Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Vesta, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. The moon joining the Sun, Venus, and Vesta in Gemini does not fundamentally change the meaning of these aspect patterns, but the new moon energy makes it easier for you to make new starts or add energy to what you're already doing in any area of life represented by these Grand Crosses. The following bullet points summarize the main Grand Cross themes, which I've already talked about: law of attraction manifestation, spiritual embodiment, structural disintegration and inspired reconstruction, focus, self-purification and self-discipline, sex in the context of sacred worship. And again, to go deeper, roll back and listen to what I was saying about the 2 different Grand Crosses, or go to my website and read the blogs about that. Additional aspects: the lunar nodes have moved close enough to become members of these Grand Crosses. At the most basic level, this asks that you develop these Grand Cross themes in a way that supports your life purpose. The Piscean South Node makes it easier for you to draw on your spiritual talents and inspired creativity. The Virgo and North Node suggests that you proceed in a spirit of service, in humility, and with attention to detail. A sextile from Ceres to the new moon shows opportunities to enhance your abundance and self-regard. A quincunx from Pluto opens the door for life-enhancing transformations if you're willing to make the appropriate adjustments. Also, on Saturday, June 4th, just as with yesterday's forecast, today's standalone aspects are part of that grand cross with Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. That grand cross interpretation gives an integrated explanation, and again, here's some additional ideas. Sun square Jupiter, Sun 14 Gemini, Jupiter 14 Virgo. Avoid excessive egotism or grandiosity, overflowing vitality, powerful mental stimulation. Venus square Jupiter, Venus 14 Gemini, Jupiter 14 Virgo. Amplification of whatever's going on in your relationships. Creative writing and overall creativity is boosted. Good time to seek additional sources of income. Nothing to report on Sunday, June 5th. On Monday, June 6th, just like the last 5 aspects I've interpreted, today's Sun-Venus conjunction at 16.5 Gemini is part of the Sun-Venus-Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune Grand Cross. In addition to that integrated interpretation I've already given you, this conjunction supports free-ranging social interactions and creative expression. Tuesday, June 7th, Venus and the Sun, conjunct yesterday, kick off an unusual day that features 4 non-Ptolemaic aspects. Venus and the Sun both quincunx Pluto, less than 2 hours apart. Venus and the Sun are at 16 degrees 55 minutes Gemini. Pluto is at 16:55 Capricorn. These Pluto quincunxes offer the opportunity for adjustment and transformation. What would you like to change about your relationships, creative expression, and finances? What would you like to change about yourself? With both personal planets in Gemini, don't just latch on to the first idea that pops up. Dive into some freewheeling brainstorming. Also on Tuesday, June 7th, sacred sex with a special emphasis on serving your partner. Always a good idea, by the way. Is supported by a Mars-Jupiter quintile. Mars, 26 Scorpio, Jupiter, 14 Virgo. This aspect can also inspire you to be an enthusiastic agent of change in the world. Additionally, on Tuesday, June 7th, a flow of guidance from the still small voice within can open more easily with Mercury quintile Neptune. Mercury, 24 Taurus, Neptune, 12 Pisces. With Mercury and Taurus, these intuitions may support you in very practical ways. On Wednesday, June 8th, counseling and mentoring, especially in practical matters, is smoothly energized with Mercury sextile Chiron. Mercury, 25 Taurus, Chiron, 25 Pisces. This aspect also puts healing bodywork on the table. Thursday, June 9th, a Mercury-Mars opposition, Mercury, 26 Taurus, Mars, 26 Scorpio, could tempt you to speak without thinking or to use your words as weapons. But Mercury's Taurian placement can help you communicate more deliberately. This aspect can also lend tremendous productivity to writing and other mental endeavors. No major astrology events on Friday, June 10th. On Saturday, June 11th, a 4-planet Yod, also known as a finger of God aspect pattern, fires up today. This Sun-Venus-Mars-Uranus Yod won't last long. It peaks on June 14th and ends on June 17th. The Sun, Venus, and Uranus are on the back end of this narrow triangle, while Mars receives these planets' energies at the tip. The Sun and Venus are in Gemini, the sign of ego-based thinking. Uranus transmits the intuitive flashes generated by divine mind. And Scorpionic Mars is primed for transformative action. So one great way to use this Yod is to receive the intuitive flashes, add in any necessary details at the mental level, and then take action to create positive change. This aspect also invites curiosity and exploration in sacred sexuality, occult practices, leadership, and how to best advocate for a worthy cause. New insights could also pop in about how to relate with others or how to optimize your creative expression. On Sunday, June 12th, healing and mentoring can more easily create life-transforming shifts with Mars trine Chiron. Mars 25 Scorpio, Chiron 25 Pisces. This aspect is also tailor-made for sexual healing. On Sunday, June 12th, today's Venus-Uranus sextile, Venus 24 Gemini, Uranus 24 Aries, is part of that Yod with the Sun, Venus, Mars, and Uranus that I've already mentioned. All of this aspect's most important meanings are included in that interpretation. Also, on Sunday, June 12th, Mercury transits Gemini today through June 29th. While Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, the winged messenger is most commonly associated with Gemini keywords. The most common are learning, communication, and love of variety. Gemini is also associated with siblings, relatives, and your local neighborhood. All of these life areas will receive extra energy while Mercury's in Gemini. On Monday, June 13th, Neptune turns retrograde today at 12 degrees, 2 minutes Pisces. He'll turn direct again a little over 5 months from now on November 19th. I've observed outer planets to function pretty much the same, whether they're retrograde or direct. But planets are especially powerful when they station, which is the same as changing directions. And the most powerful impacts are usually felt with quadrature aspects, conjunction, opposition, or square. I'd recommend taking a look at anything in your natal chart between 9 and 15 degrees in the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. These points will be most powerfully affected by Neptune stationing retrograde. Take note of whatever these planets and points represent in your life. If you're feeling ease and harmony, your higher self is giving you a big thumbs up. When something is in harmony with your soul purpose, Neptune supports it with spiritual flow and divine inspiration. But if something represented in this degree range is disintegrating, it might be best to let it go. Neptune dissolves that which no longer serves your highest good. Sometimes things can be reconfigured so that they realign with your soul purpose. Other times they've simply outlived their usefulness and are best released, no matter how wonderfully they've served you in the past. Also, on Monday, June 13th, two of today's aspects are components of the Vesta-Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune Grand Cross I've already talked about. That was starting on June 1st. A Neptune-Vesta square, with Neptune at 12 Pisces and Vesta at 12 Gemini, and a Saturn-Vesta opposition, that's Saturn 12 Sagittarius, Vesta 12 Gemini. The meanings of these individual aspects are contained in the Grand Cross interpretation. Also, on Monday, June 13th, Venus makes two challenging aspects today. A Venus-Mars quincunx, Venus 25 Gemini, Mars 25 Scorpio, can catalyze issues in relationships, creativity, and finances. Can you make adjustments that can help heal the issue and stop it from recurring? Also, on Monday, June 13th, the second challenging aspect, a Venus-Chiron square, can catalyze wounding in relationship. Hopefully this is only emotional. If your partner is physically abusing you, I recommend that you seek outside help immediately. Every triggering of an old wound is a fresh opportunity to clear it once and for all. Many people have found my healing invocation helpful for this. There's a link if you're on a computer. Otherwise, you can go to astroshaman.com, and if you're on a computer, then in the upper right corner, there's this purple banner that you're seeing, Heal and Awaken Invocations. If you're on a phone or tablet, you may need to scroll down a bit to find it, but click it. It'll take you to a page with a few blog posts. The final blog post with the screaming man you're seeing up there right now is the one I'm talking about. How you can say a few words and have the divine itself flush that heavy energy off you. On Tuesday, June 14th, the Yod with Sun, Venus, Mars, and Uranus I already talked about. On June 11th, it peaks today. Again, that's June 14th, and it ends on June 17th. Also, on Tuesday, June 14th, you can express your authentic self to the world more easily under a Sun-Uranus sextile. That's the Sun, 24 Gemini, Uranus, 24 Aries. This aspect is also part of the Sun, Venus, Mars, Uranus Yod that peaks today. Wednesday, June 15th, don't let Mars low side get the best of you as the Sun quincunxes Mars. That's the Sun, 25 Gemini, Mars, 25 Scorpio. If you're tempted to use anger, aggressiveness, or sexual energy inappropriately, take a breath and make whatever energetic adjustments are needed to release or repurpose this fiery energy. Vigorous physical activity, harmonious sexual expression, or diving into intellectual pursuits that fascinate you might be better ways to express this energy. Also, on Wednesday, June 15th, you might feel wounded under a Sun-Chiron square, Sun 25 Gemini, Chiron 25 Pisces, but this aspect can also energize mentoring, healing, shamanism, and awakening practices. What's up on our next show, I'll tell you in a moment, but first, a couple of announcements. Everything that I'm about to talk about is described on the home page of astroshaman.com in the What's New section, just slightly down from the top. I'll appear live on the Awaken to Happiness Now Global Summit on Wednesday, June 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be discussing quick, effective tools you can use for your own healing and awakening, and something new. I also hope to do some individual and group healing work on the show. Good reason to call in live. The theme for Season 10 is Build on the Momentum of the Universal Energies and Create Your Future Now. I invite you to join me with host Shefali Burns and 33 other transformational leaders presenting throughout the season. The season's already underway, but replays are available for any shows you missed. You can experience powerful energy processes, activations, healing techniques, and tools and strategies that will help you move forward and shift your life and consciousness forever. When you register, you'll receive access to everything I just talked about, all the calls, and an exclusive happiness kit to start you on your journey to a more fulfilled and happy life, all absolutely free. I look forward to having you join us on this amazing journey of joy and happiness. If you're in the Asheville area, we're having the Loveolution Gathering. That's June, 24th through 27th, and I'm going to lead an augmented shamanic awakening ceremony there. You can bring your open heart and gifts to share with our heart tribe and immerse yourself in epic nature, flowing water, and heartfelt people at Camp Loveolution for 3 days of sacred celebration, learning, and sharing. All kinds of workshops, very new agey, very consciousness expanding, very heart-centered and body-centered. Really beautiful things happening there of many varieties. You can read more about it on the site. And in my actual augmented shamanic awakening ceremony, I'll be guiding participants in simple, potent techniques for self-healing, spiritual awakening, and energetically assisting others, as well as doing other things too. As a reminder, my EASE, Embodied Awakening Support Experience weekly events are still available via phone or web, ongoing program. Basically, it helps you heal what's holding you back and awaken into higher and higher states of awakened consciousness. All sorts of benefits to that. And by joining up, you also get access to the online recording library. We're up to about 40 MP3s already, and a new one gets on there every week. You try for 30 days free, and then see if you want to sign on at whatever subscription level fits you best. So, what is happening on our next show? That'll cover the second half of June. Mars finally turns direct. We've got some significant slower planet aspects, Saturn square Neptune and Jupiter trine Pluto, a Sagittarius full moon. We have grand crosses peaking, the Vesta-Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune peaks, and also a new one, Jupiter-Saturn-Neptune combined with Mercury fires up and peaks as well. We've also got grand trines, Venus, Juno, Pallas, Athena, Sun, Juno, Pallas, Athena, Mercury, Juno, Pallas, Athena. So that Juno, Pallas is getting a lot of stimulation. We're going to have a mystic rectangle. Venus is going to trine Neptune and oppose Pluto. Sun comes into Cancer for the summer solstice. Chiron turns retrograde. A lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. So please join me. As always, I'll be here to give you the best uses of these astrological energies. They can all be used on the high side if you know what you're doing. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology. It's also free. You can get my semi-monthly astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't feel that your experience was helpful, there's no charge. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light your way.